Hello friends, a very happy new year. Welcome to Terminal Magic and this is Kaushik. Today I'll talk on Python modules. Uh, what is a module in Python? How to create your own module, your private and global namespace of a module. There are different types of import statement and what is the difference between those different types of import statement, compiled and non-compiled version of module, and what is module strictness or restricted modules in Python. So first we need to know what is a module in Python. So there is a misconception among various developers that module and package are same. They refers to the Python files, but apparently they are not. So module is nothing but just a Python file. A package is also a collection of Python file, but there you need to have a dunder method or init method inside init.py inside that folder. Only then that folder is called a Python package. Otherwise it will be a simple directory which consists or which is a collection of Python files. Okay, so that is a basic difference. I will come to much more in detail later on in our in other videos where we are going to discuss about packages. Okay, so first of all, our first question is, what is a module? A module is nothing but just a Python file, I told you. So let's say our Python file named as sample.py. Okay, it has a method called method. It has a class called class_1. Okay, so these two will be called as member of module. Okay, or module members. Okay, so when we do import sample and interpreter encounter this, okay, this line, then what interpreter will do? So there will be a sequence of action points which interpreter will do. First one is it will check whether this is a built-in module or not. So where it will check? It will check in sys.built built-ins. Okay, builtns, sys.built-ins. Here it will check whether it's a built-in module or not. I will later show what are the built-in modules and everything. Second, it will check if this is a custom module or a custom package rather, which you have installed earlier. So then it will check in sys.path. Okay, sys.path is nothing but just your Python path. Okay, and the next one is it will check in your current directory. So these are the three action points which interpreter will take when it encounter the statement import sample. Okay, after this, the first two interpreter will fail, and the third one interpreter will get a okay, we got a hit. Interpreter will check and see, yes, there is a file called sample.py, so let's import this. Now what is import? What does it mean in Python, import statement? So see, that's where the namespace concept come. So what is a namespace? A namespace is nothing but just think of a mechanism or think of a system where you can have different objects or multiple objects or multiple objects with the same name, but still you are able to keep up your uniqueness. Think about a class. Okay, this is your class. Class means in a school. I'll say in a school, think about class, and this is let's say class 6, standard 6. Okay, in here there will be sections, everyone in our school we have sections like A, B, C. In section A we have a student named Manoj. In section B also there is a student named Manoj. Now my question is, can we identify these two Manoj in a unique way? Yes, we can, because this Manoj refers to this Manoj sits in section A and this Manoj belongs to section B. So they are pretty much different. So that is what a similar kind of concept is there for namespace also. So now I guess guys you have understood this logic. I mean you have understood this example. Now let's apply it. Where we will apply it in Pythonic environment? So in Pythonic environment we have a global namespace, we have a local namespace, okay, and there is another namespace called built-in namespace. Now we shouldn't bother about built-in namespace because this is only for the built-in objects like dictionary, dunder methods and all that, exception, built-in errors. Those are some belongs to built-in topics or built-in exceptions. Those belongs to this built-in namespace. Now coming to the global namespace and local namespace, let's try to understand this with an example. So let's create a method called def xyz, and here we do remove this for, let's say x equal to 9, print x. Okay, this is in what this is, let's say this is in a file called test.py. okay, this is in test.py. now now let's do this. We do import test, okay, and in import test, when we write import test, it hit global namespace. So that is why I was trying to bring up this namespace topic, because the moment you write or the moment you try to import any module, at that moment a reference of that particular objects or not reference but a copy of that particular object get created in the global namespace. Okay, think of global namespace is a shared namespace among all the private namespaces or the local namespaces. Okay, what is a local namespace? Local namespace belongs to think like that. Local namespace is nothing but just a session which only actives or remain actives when a function is getting called. When we do import test, it creates a reference in global namespace. After that we do like this, test dot xyz. okay, at this moment what it will do, it will move to local namespace because it is a namespace of xyz. okay, that is the reason this is local namespace of xyz. okay, so it moves to the local namespace, it will not go to the global namespace. Now the question is why? So global namespace only contain the import statements or the import objects. If there is an object which is, let's say, which is a method, and inside that method there are variables, then those variables will remain active or alive, doesn't matter how you want to define it, will be till when the function is getting called or till when the function is getting processed. So that's why a different namespace or a session is needed to be created. That's why, and that is the reason why Python creator, the PSF people, they create this concept called the local namespace. But anyway, I guess you have understood this concept of namespace. Now let's move to to some hands-on examples. So first one, I have created two files. First one is class 1 and second one is class 2. So class 1.py, inside there we will create some variables. So in Python, I already told you that in Python there are three types of variable. First one is a public variable. Public variable has, let's say, variable underscore public, and I assigned it a value of 10. And then there is this protected variable. These are access specifier, by the way. When I start the session on object oriented programming concept, then I will tell you about this access specifier and all this stuff. Although in Python, access specifier doesn't mean anything. Okay, so I'll tell you why. Protected variable, and then there is this underscore variable protected. Okay, let's run it as 11. And then there is, let's say, private variable. Okay, we will do that underscore variable underscore private equals to 12. Now this is all we have. Now move to class 2.py. Here try to import class 1. Okay, now here with the magic, print class 1 dot variable underscore public. Variable underscore protected, print class 1 dot variable underscore private. So I can see that these three variables are easily accessible, and this shouldn't go like that. I mean, when there is when this is a private or protected specifier, it shouldn't be accessed outside the class or outside the outside this Python file or the Python namespace of this local namespace. It cannot be accessed, but we can access it from class 2.py. So what is the difference? If I say from class 1 import star, then import star means we are trying to import every object from class 1.py to class 2.py. Okay, so I'll simply write print, then I don't need to refer class 1 dot. I can directly refer to a particular variable name. Let's say variable.public. Yes, I can access it, I guess. Print underscore, let's copy this one, variable underscore protected. I think there is a red mark, and red mark, this is a very good ID, by the way. This is PyCharm, and the best ID I can refer in the market right now. The community edition is awesome. You don't need to pay, but otherwise, I mean, if you are really into a paid version, you can go for enterprise one, but the community version is very, very efficient. Let's try to check we have access to this private variable or not. So you can see that variable is not defined. So that is the difference. When you do import star means it will only import the public variable part, okay, or the public objects like class or methods, whichever things are public, only that will be imported, otherwise nothing else. So that is what import star do. Okay, but there is a way to access it. If I literally do directory of class 1, oh okay, one second. import class 1 directory of class 1. So let's look at its, okay, I'll have to print, sorry. So you can see that in the namespace for class 1 contains variable private, variable protected, and variable public. So that is why we can access all these three. Okay, so this is something happens with when we do import star. But now let's go with a class sample. Okay, I make it public. Let's make it public, and I'll do a def test. Okay, and I'll try to make one print hey there. Make it static method. Okay, so now let's back to this part. I think you guys understand this concept of variable import. I mean, how this import statement works. Now let's see. Now let's try to import a class. Okay, when we do class 1, then we do class underscore 1 dot sample. Okay, dot test. Let's see what it is giving. Hey there, I can see hey there. Now let's move it back here and do like this. Okay, and try to do a little bit of playing. Instead of this, can we have this? I think yes, we have. Now let's make it. It really doesn't make any sense for me when I write Python code. What is the use of a protected or private specifier, even if you can't restrict the caller to call whatever they want? So this doesn't really make sense. But anyway, let's do the test method. Now if we call it as test, and obviously test doesn't mean, so we have to make, let's see, can we access like that? It's still, because this is a private part, this is something private to the particular class. Okay, yeah, this is something private to that particular class, so you really can't access like that. Now how can you access like that? Sample underscore sample. Let me try. Yes, this is what I was talking about. So even if this is, you can see this is a private method which can only be accessible as per the definition of access specifier. It can only be accessible. Access specifier, I mean, not as an access specifier in Python, but in a generalized standard, a private variable method or class can only be accessible to within the same namespace or the workspace. So here this underscore test is a private method, and it is only related to the sample class, so it cannot be accessed from class 2.py, class underscore 2.py, correct? So here it cannot be accessed, but still we can access it. This process is called mangling. This process is called mangling in Python. Okay, I will share this code pack with you guys via GitHub, so don't worry. So yeah, this process is called mangling. Now this is possible for, I mean, this is obviously this is possible for classes and methods. I mean, if you could see, if I make it underscore, if I go here, let's copy it, then if you think you'll do like this, you can access it. So what is the point of my question here? In Python, this access specifier, private, protected variables, these doesn't really mean anything, to be precise. I mean, you can literally access it from outside the class. So in this case, that's why Python has from my point of view, Python has little bit of less security compared to programming languages like Java. So that's why, I mean, I think from the security perspective, this is kind of a glitch, or no, I mean, I would say glitch, but this is kind of a problem with Python. But anyway, this is something happening with class. Now let's do it with a method. Let's name the method as method and pass nothing, and I will try to print hey, I am using method. Okay, now if I do write one, and then we have simple method import class 1, and from there we have class 1 dot method, and you can see, hey, I am using method. Now let's make this method a bit tricky. Okay, can we access it? Yeah, we can access it. Now how about we make it yes, in private and in protected, in all kind of access specifier, even with public, I can access whatever I want. So that is something a security feature which Python is lacking from my point of view. Please let me know your point of view in the comment sections. So okay, now we have a very interesting feature, a very interesting scenario, and this is dynamically import a module. When we do import, let's say numpy, okay, at that moment what Python interpreter try to do, those action points, those 3 action points I already told you guys, and this is, this is sometimes a trick, I mean, hefty. It might take a couple of seconds. So in a program where latency is a huge headache, we really don't want to do that, and in those cases the module which helps us is called the import lib. Okay, so that is called import lib. So import lib, how we dynamically import, but by just saying them the path import sys. So first we need to create a spec, or the specification is import lib dot util dot spec from file location, and here let's say I name the module as module dot name, and our file location is in the same directory, is called class 1.py. okay, and then we need to create let's say a sample module equals to spec dot import lib dot util dot module from spec. Okay, there I mention the specification of the, and then we do the system dot modules, and there I write module dot name, and I have to give it a value of sample module. Okay, and there I will write dot loader dot execute mode. I know this is bit long, but this is what actually import statement do. When we write import numpy, this is what actually the import statement do under the hood. So it's fun to know something like that. But anyway, sample module dot, let's say, method 1, sample module okay, let's comment it out, otherwise the import statement is there at the above. There is nothing. Okay, I commented out everything. Hey, I'm using method. So this is something very interesting thing, that without doing a import class 1, how can I really import a module? So this is called importing module from a Python file directly without, this is called dynamical import using import lib. There is another very interesting fact, is restricted module. Okay, what is a restricted module, by the way? A restricted module is something, first of all, a restricted module, let's say we have a Python program or a Python session ongoing, and we really don't want that the developer or the end user don't import some specific module. Let's say you have a cluster which is running from your home, and there are a lot of end user who are running their own Python program in your cluster, and you really don't want that very heavy weight module like pandas and numpys. Nobody use those modules, otherwise your cluster will be heavy and you have to shut it down. So you really don't want that. In that case, this program or this piece of code will help you. First you need to import the import lib. Okay, and there you have to create a program. I name it as a secure importer, and I'll tell you why I'm giving those names, the parameters like that. Globals equals to none, then locals equals to none, and then from list equals to, I have to give this like that, then level equal to 0. This is something which is a parameter for import lib. Then we have to see if name equal to class 1, then what we do, we raise import error, hey, class 1 is restricted. Okay, and then we have to do return import lib dot import, then name comma globals comma locals comma level. Okay, so this is what this is what it is. And then we have dash built-in, built-ins dot dash dictionary. Then here we have to change the import equals to secure importer. Okay, now let's try to do raise import error. Okay, now let's comment it out. Okay. Then we do import class 1. Okay, hey, class 1 is restricted. You can literally see. So this is how you can restrict someone importing a particular class, or any methods in your session, in Python session. So this is this is useful when you have those kind of use cases like I mentioned with the cluster one. So yeah guys, this is with today's session. So let me know, I know it's a bit lengthy, like 30 minutes, but if you go through the course, it will literally help you. It is interesting. I try to make it as interesting as possible. I don't know how much I can, but let me know in the comments. Okay, till then, goodbye.